You're able to hear me? Okay. So in the last class, we started this ethnic elements in Indian population. We have seen Herbert Hope Priestley's classification. So he classified the people of India into 7 racial groups, that is Dravidian, Indo-Aryan, Mongoloid, and then mixtures like Aryo-Dravidian, okay, Mongolo-Dravidian, Scytho-Dravidian, and then Turco-Iranian. Then after that, we discussed the criticism and contributions of Risley to Aryan debate. That is, what is his opinion about Aryan migration? Did they come or not? Okay. After coming, are they responsible for the caste formation? So what is the role they played here? So regarding all that, his opinion, Risley's contributions to Aryan debate. Then after that, kind of, we were supposed to discuss Guha's classification, but from here we diverted to other related discussions on Aryan debate, right? So we went on to discuss the genetic studies regarding Aryan debate. Okay. In the genetic studies, I told you that based on mitochondrial DNA comparison between contemporary Indians and the people of the region from where the Aryans were claimed to have come. Okay. So at least in the last 12,500 years, how can you say that there is a lot of genetic difference between them? If there is more genetic similarity, we say that there are recent contacts. Okay, so if there is a lot of difference, we say in the last 12,500 years, there is no considerable infusion into India from that region. This is what mitochondrial DNA suggested, but we thought of not taking it very seriously because of 2 reasons. One is it is just 0.1% of DNA and it is not nuclear DNA, not chromosomal DNA. Some DNA in the mitochondria and which gets inherited only from the mother. Is it clear? And even if Aryans migrated, even if they crossed with the people in India, because Aryans, like if they migrated, it is quite evident today also, like higher caste people will look in Aryan resemblance, isn't it? If you notice, Brahmins and higher caste people look with Aryan resemblance. So if Aryans migrated, if they are responsible for caste system, then they belong to the higher caste. In India, during the time of Varna system, if at all intervarna marriages happened, they were hypergamy. So even if you have Aryan DNA in India, you will have the male Aryan DNA in India, not the Aryan DNA from mitochondria. Is it clear? Higher Varna boys married lower Varna girls. So even if Aryans migrated, even if they crossed with the people living here, okay, then Aryan males could have married the Dravidian females here or the Indian people living here already. So therefore, it is not very much feasible to get, okay, the mitochondrial DNA of Pontic Caspian steppe people in India. So that doesn't prove anything. That doesn't prove whether they migrated or not. Is it clear? Okay. I still did not discuss about it, so it means we are going to discuss about it. Okay, so only till here we discussed. So now, okay, so we thought that this is not very standard because of these 2 reasons: inherited only from the women, plus only 0.1% DNA. Okay, plus due to hypergamy, Aryans male could have mated with the Indian people living then here. Okay, so therefore this is not very standard. So let us move on with the genetic studies that happened after this. So the second genetic study happened on this Y DNA. So what is this Y DNA? Nothing. DNA in the Y chromosome. Y chromosome में जो DNA है वो Y DNA. Is it clear? Okay. Then, so now, like listen to this argument points a little bit carefully. Peter Underhill published a massive study mapping the distribution of R1A haplogroup. Okay. I hope you remember this word haplogroup. Okay. I'll remind you where in HLA, do you remember we discussed 8 haplotypes we have seen, not HLA also, okay, but in RH we have seen 8 haplotype, okay, like for example D, C, E, capital D, like E, capital D, capital C, small c, capital D, small c, capital E, capital D, small c, capital E, okay, like this 8 haplotypes we have seen, right, small d, capital C, capital E, okay, like this. So what we called them as haplotypes. Why we called them as haplotypes? Because of 2 such things. For example, these 2, like this. Okay, like capital D, capital D, capital C, capital E, small e, that makes genotype. So if you remember, I told you haplotype is half of a genotype. Again, we have seen haplotypes in HLA also. Do you remember? And do you remember the concept called linkage? I think I told you about the linkage in one of the topics, right? So linkage means what? The tendency of a group of genes to inherit together. एक क्रोमोसोम के ऊपर जो भी genes है वो साथ चलते हैं egg cell में. Is it clear? They go together into the egg cell. Is it clear? So haplotype is one group of genes which move together, which inherit together. Okay. So I just reminded you about the haplotype or haplogroup. Similarly, like we have seen in RHHLA, similarly there is one haplogroup, that is a group of genes, single copy. See, if it is Y chromosome, it will be a haplogroup only, right? Because you have, in the males, you have X and Y. So Y chromosome के ऊपर जो भी genes हैं, वो haplotype में भी होता है, isn't it? Why? Because this is hemizygous. Do you remember? Haplo means what? Half. Haplo means half. So the genes on Y chromosome will not be in the diploid format. They will be in hemizygous. Okay. For example, if you have some genes like A, B, C, D, E, F, G, this complete thing can be called as one haplogroup, isn't it? A group of genes on Y chromosome. They are always in the form of haplogroup. Clear about this? So they are discussing about a haplogroup located on Y chromosome. Name of that haplogroup means what? A group of genes, okay, in single copy or hemizygous condition on Y chromosome, isn't it? Okay. Haplogroup is a group of genes in single copy or in hemizygous condition on Y chromosome. Done? Okay. Name of that haplogroup is, वो group का नाम है R1A. Is it clear? Group of that gene. R1A is not one gene. One group of this genes is called as R1A. Okay. Peter Underhill published a massive study mapping the distribution of R1A haplogroup on Y chromosome, which is today spread across Central Asia, Europe, and South Asia. Is it clear? Presently, R1A haplogroup. It means these genes are distributed. This group of genes are distributed in Europe. That is the place from where, okay, the Aryans were claimed to have migrated, isn't it? Europe, Central Asia, and South Asia, India. Okay, so I mean the place from where they came and the place where they went. Is it clear? So it is distributed in all these places, Central Asia, Europe, and South Asia. This haplogroup is distributed. Is it clear? Okay. Pontic Caspian steppe is seen as its region of origin. So they understood that, okay, the place where this R1A originated is Pontic Caspian steppe. That is the place from where Aryans were claimed to have migrated. Is it clear? For your convenience, I have drawn like this. For easy understanding, I have drawn the content like this. Look at here, R1A haplogroup on Y chromosome originated in Pontic Caspian steppe. Is it clear till now? That group of genes originated in Pontic Caspian steppe. Okay. Later, next point. If the first point is clear, now focus on the second point. Okay. 5,800 years ago, okay, R1A haplogroup got bifurcated into two sub-haplogroups. Is it clear? Two sub-haplogroups. When this bifurcation happened around 5,800 years ago, okay, R1A haplogroup got bifurcated, divided into two sub-haplogroups. Okay, means what? What do you mean by this divided into two sub-haplogroups? Okay, maybe let us suppose on that haplogroup, okay, say that haplogroup R1A mutated. Is it clear? Okay, and the like original, okay, in Europe, original remained in Europe, okay, and the mutant one, is it clear? The mutant one, okay, migrated to Asia, particularly India. Is it clear? Asia, particularly India. So did you understand the meaning of branching into two? Branching into two means mutation. Okay, so with the mutation we get two types of the genes. Okay, with the mutation we get two types of those same genes. So one type in one place, the other type in the other place. So that is branching. When this was expected to happen around 5,800 years ago. So those mutations resulted in, that is, that classification resulted in two subhaplogroups. Those two subhaplogroups are, we call them as, okay, subhaplogroups. Okay, one is Z282, the other is Z93. Is it clear? Z282, Z93. What are these two? The two subhaplogroups of R1A. Are you all understanding? And Z282, okay, remained in Europe. Z282 remained in Europe, but Z93, okay, is found in Asia, particularly India, right? So two variants formed. Okay, two variants formed. Just like, say, for example, let us, to explain, I'm giving not at all a suitable example. Let us suppose the COVID-19 mutated into Delta and Omicron. Delta remained in UK, Omicron spread to India, something like that. Did you understand? Two variants formed. One variant lived there, the other variant came here. Understood? Okay. So presently, the R1A subhaplogroup that is predominant in India is Z93. Later, what happened? Okay. Like this Z93 underwent multiple star-like branching. It means what? Several mutations happened in this. Means it got classified into many variants. Different variants migrated to different places in Asia. Is it clear? So in Z93 group of genes, there are many mutations. So many variants are found. Different variants migrated to different places in Asia. So instead of two arrow marks like this, if you observe here, I have shown several arrow marks. Did you notice this? Okay. And okay, this bifurcation was estimated to have happened around 4,000 to 4,500 years ago. Is it clear? When this distribution happened, when this spreading happened around 4,000 to 4,500 years ago. Now, if you see this pattern, okay, I'm going to tell you one very big sentence. Thoda dhyan se sun lo, please. Okay, if you don't understand, you can say repeat, but complete focus here. So if you observe this particular pattern, can I say that, okay, like this R1A haplogroup originated in Pontic Caspian steppe, right? So from here, Aryans started. Is it clear? They were living here. And can I say that they divided into two groups? Divided into two groups. Is it clear? Next step. One group came to India. One group came to India. Okay. Divided into two groups when 5,800 years ago, they divided into two groups. Okay. After that, they started migrating. It took some time for them to reach India, settle here, okay, start mating with the people living in India, start spreading in India. यहाँ settle होके spread करने के लिए थोड़ा time लगा, थोड़ा बोले तो थोड़ा ज़्यादा ही, okay, like more than 1,000 years. So they settled and they started spreading in India around 4,500 years ago, isn't it? They came to India, okay, and then settled and started spreading. Okay, in India, they started spreading to different places. Not only India, I mean to say in Asia, they started spreading to different places. So by the time they reach here, settle down here, okay, and start spreading to different places in Asia, okay, it was 4,000 to 4,500 years ago. So the active Aryan invasion, according to this study, happened 4,000 to 4,500 years ago. This is roughly when 4,000 years ago, the IBC began falling apart. So this is genetically suggesting that, okay, Aryans migrated, okay, roughly in the time period when the Indus Valley civilization started declining. Is it clear? Understood? Can be. So this does not suggest that they really came and they collapsed the IBC. No, okay. So it can be coincidence also. Is it clear? They might have come and IBC could have collapsed due to some other reason. Okay, Aryans came 4,000 years back, and 4,000 years back due to the change in the direction of Indus River, IBC collapsed. Possible. There are multiple theories explaining the decline of the IBC. One is like pandemics, okay, because at that time there was no treatment. Second one, change in the monsoon direction. then change in the river flow direction, okay, or like nothing happened to IBC, just the people dispersed to different places. It means they did not die, there was no war, there was no attack, okay, they just dispersed to different places. So like this, there are many theories about it. 4,000 years back they came does not prove that they are responsible for the decline of IBC. So this is only saying that this is roughly when 4,000 years ago when IBC began falling apart. Okay. How it is only time? यहाँ भी mutation हुआ. Yes, many mutations occurred here. So how it is the only time? And people keep mutating always. Okay. Otherwise, why Chinese looking different? Why Africans looking different? People keep mutating. Though not so frequently as the Omicron Delta, humans also mutate. Actually, RNA virus mutate more frequently because, okay, the RNA replication, in the RNA replication, there is no proofreading mechanism. So RNA viruses mutate more frequently, but humans also mutate. Okay. I mean, how that time was calculated. Okay. I'll tell you 1 second. How we came to know about the timing. Timing is based on the degree of difference between these two. For example, if Z282 and Z93 are very similar, then we say that they bifurcated in the recent times. If they are very different, okay, because with time they become more and more different, isn't it? For example, now I told you in the race concept, if you remember, I told you 1 point. Okay, so at present they are races because they can still mate with each other and can have a fertile baby. But if this isolation continues, if the environment makes them more and more different, in future they may go to the situation that even if they mate, they cannot have a child. Do you remember? Okay, the isolated groups will become more different with time. Two isolated groups will become more different with time. So depending on how different they are, okay, we estimate the time period. These are estimations. Okay, so this is not exactly 5,800 and like some 36 years, 3 months. No, not like that. This is just an estimation depending on the degree of similarity. Okay, then so here how 4 to 4,500 years. Okay, you can find many variants of Z93 in different places of India. And between these variants of Z93, we don't find this much difference, so much difference as between these two. Did you understand? So it means, okay, so this bifurcation occurred not so many years ago. Is it clear? So between these two, there is more difference than between all these things. So this is the time estimated based on the degree of differences between the variants. Okay, different mutants or variants, whatever we call. Okay, so the point is, okay, the isolated groups will become more and more different with the time if there is no genetic exchange between them. Okay, based on that, they are estimating. These are only estimations. So first point, they are only estimations. Plus second point, this only suggested that at the time when IBC collapsed, okay, Aryans migrated. This, how can genetic study prove whether they really did something to IBC or not? This doesn't prove anything like that. Is it clear? This only prove, suggest. Okay, suggest. I'm not even using the word proof. Okay, this can only suggest the rough time period when they might have migrated to India. Done clear? Yes. Any more doubts in this? Okay, very good. If you get any doubt, feel free to ask. Okay, so actually I forgot also. Okay, active Aryan invasion, I mean to say, okay, they started spreading. Okay, active Aryan invasion, that's not a standard word, probably I used somehow. Okay, what I meant to say is, okay, kind of we say like intensive colonization. Okay, during intensive colonization, like say for example, British colonial ruler, when they were coming, when they got fully settled and actively playing some role here, when they were about to go back. Okay, so like different time periods will live when they are properly settled and they started spreading. So for that I used the word. That's not any standard word. Okay, so if so that is not appropriate, you can take it easy. Means when they are in the process on my no. When they are settled and started spreading in South Asia. When they are settled here, started spreading in South Asia. Okay, so that, okay, the intensive part of it. Is it clear? Roughly, yes, Himanshu. Clear till now? Any doubts? Okay. So as this content is also little complicated to understand, okay, let me just give it a reading so that it will be a recap also. Nothing new, the same thing that I have drawn here, diagram, paragraph. Okay, same thing. Okay, I've drawn this just to make it easy for you. Okay, so look at here. Pontic-Caspian steppe is seen as its origin. It means what? Whose origin? R1A's origin. He found that. He means who? Okay, Peter Underhill. Okay, he found that R1A had two sub-haplogroups, one found predominantly in Europe, Z282, okay, and the other one predominantly found in Central and South Asia, that is Z93. Is it clear? Okay, Central and South Asia, that is Z93. Then the two groups diverged from each other only about 5,800 years ago. Okay. Then Dr. Underhill's research showed that within Z93, there is that is predominant in India. There is further splintering. Splintering means like into dividing into multiple branches. Splintering into multiple star-like branching. This is referring to this one. Okay, like an asterisk, isn't it? Okay. Sorry, that's a very poor asterisk. Like this, okay, multiple star-like branching, indicative of rapid growth and dispersal. They got settled here and started dispersing to different states in India or different countries in Central South Asia. Is it clear? Okay, this is what I called active part of their stay here, which is not any standard word. I just used to communicate something. Okay, just to communicate that they are settled and aram se they started spreading, dispersed throughout Central and South Asia. Then, the study of David Posnick and Dr. Underhill found that most striking expansions within Z93, that these expansions within Z93 happened 4,000 to 4,500 years ago. This is when roughly 4,000 years ago Indus Valley civilization began falling apart. Okay, is this slide clear for all of you? Same thing, writing, how it will be in writing, how it will be in flowchart. Okay, and writing flowchart means I just okay thought of if this is clear, I just have to discuss about some that daily answer writing के बारे में एक point बोलना है मुझे. If this is clear, confirm that. So this is one study. This study is suggesting that, this, not proving, I'm not using the word proving. So this study is suggesting that, okay, Aryans migrated from Pontic-Caspian steppe, that is roughly when, okay, for the Indus Valley civilization started falling apart. So this is what suggested by this study. Second study, first one is mitochondria, second one is Y chromosome. Okay, so we understood the second study. Now we have one more study, but before going to that, okay, let us see one point about this model answers and daily answer writing program. First point, this week no exams, because like we reached the point like already like that day I had to tell you that today I'm going to give you the personal identification question. Okay, so if I conduct the exams this week, it will be like that only. So I should tell you in the class that this is the question. Okay, so dhyan se sun lo, sun ke likh do. Okay, so it won't be like a test at all. Okay, so let us take a break for around 1 week. Okay, so after 1 week, that is from next Monday, your tests will again resume. In this 1 week, I will also complete my duty of evaluating that. Okay, so pakka before Monday, I will give you all your answer sheets. Okay, then that is one thing. Second thing, yesterday one student was asking about the personal identification model answer. Like I have given the model answer like that, okay, because after the class I have seen what I have written. I have given like that. That means I have focused more on DNA testing because the other tests are not valid in the court of law, isn't it? They are not admissible in the court of law. So actually personal identification is done only through DNA testing. So that reconstruction and the superimposition, all those things are only supporting evidences. So that is the reason why kind of, they're not eliminations on you. Seeing elimination means what? Okay, saying that, okay, he is not the person. Superimposition and reconstruction will tell you that he is the person, but I'm not sure. Is it clear? DNA testing will say that he is the person and I'm sure of it. So that is the difference between the three. So I gave more attention to DNA testing in my model answer because that is the only test which is admissible in the court of law. Okay, so yes, technical details also I have given about that because that is actually through which we do the DNA testing. PCR, RFLP, electrophoresis are the steps in the DNA testing, isn't it? So that is the reason why I focused on that. Remaining, I just mentioned I did not going into the, okay, no, doesn't mean that you'll get 0. That is the second point I'm going to give you. Okay, there can be 100, okay, different good answers. Got my point? There can be 100 different good answers. Is it clear? Okay, so that is what I have written the model answer. But I can give 10 marks to many of your model answers also. All good answers are not identical. Like say for example, there are many beautiful girls in the world, but all of them are not like identical twins, right? Agreed? Yes. So there are 100 different types of good answers. So I have given one. So this is what I just want to strongly establish. Okay, my answers or okay, any other answers in any other book, like let you take Anthropology Demystified, Anthropology Simplified, whatever it is, any market available question and answer format books or my model answers. Okay, nothing is final. You can write your own answer. Still, it can be very good. Maybe it can be better than that also. Okay, all good answers are not identical. If one is good answer, it doesn't mean that the other is a bad answer. Okay, so this is something which I want to strongly establish, because you have to see the model answer with that view only. So you don't have to just repeat my answer, or you should not just copy Anthropology Demystified. You should not just copy Anthropology Simplified, or you should not just copy my answers. They are like an idea. Okay, ऐसा भी लिख सकती हूँ एक idea देने के लिए, बस don't take them more seriously. Okay, so like this also I can write. That is the only thing you have to get from that. Okay, and why I have written, and structure also, alternative structures are possible. Okay, just like the girls example, alternative things are possible. Many things are beautiful. It doesn't mean that all beauties are identical twins, right? Okay, so take the model answers or any model answers from any source like that only. Okay, and I told you that interview panel's statement also, don't give me the answers of Mr. X. It was a real comment made by the interview panel repeatedly, not once or twice. Of course, a good answer. 3-2. Okay, so I don't have any plans of consider. Okay, fine. So 2 studies over. Now let us move on to one more study. Okay, so this is okay in the journal Cell. Okay, look at here. I'll tell you something, and based on this, I'm going to ask you something. So you have to listen carefully. Okay, so this is like your reading comprehension, right? Now, see, 4,600 years back. First, tell me when the IBC declined and when Aryans were believed to have migrated. And if you observe, I'm not making any absolute statements, because we don't know as such. We don't know whether they are really migrated, and we don't know who are really responsible for IBC. We don't know why IBC really declined. Okay, 4,000. So look at this study. 4,600-year-old female genome derived from a Harappan site in Rakhigarhi. And what is this DNA? This is fossil DNA, not contemporary DNA. Understood? Okay. 4,600 old DNA means fossil, of course. I'm sorry. So 4,600-year-old fossil DNA derived from a Harappan site in Rakhigarhi. And also DNA from 61 other skeleton samples from Rakhigarhi cemetery. Not only this female skeleton, plus 61 other skeletons. All these skeletons were found in a Harappan site called Rakhigarhi cemetery. They had no steppe pastoralist ancestry. Steppe pastoralist means what, Aryans? Steppe pastoralist means because they are pastoral. If they migrated, I'm not deciding that they migrated. If they migrated because they are pastoral. Okay, if that is an agricultural community, why would they migrate? Isn't it? Okay. So they were believed to be pastoral, right? Okay, so steppe pastoralist ancestry. This 4,600-year-old, okay, the point is 4,600-year-old 61 skeletons in, okay, Harappan site, that is Rakhigarhi. Why Harappan site? Because, okay, we have to decide whether is there any role of Aryans in the IBC or not. Is it clear? That is what like we wanted to discuss. So therefore Rakhigarhi cemetery, because there are many cemeteries in many places. Okay, Hyderabad may be here. Okay, why they did not focus on that? Because the topic is IBC. Is it clear? Okay, so 4,600-year-old 61 skeletons from a Harappan site, that is Rakhigarhi cemetery. had no, okay, Aryan DNA. That is a steppe pastoralist DNA. Is it clear? This is what is the word used there. Steppe pastoralist DNA is not there. Even if it is there, negligible. No Aryan DNA, even if present, negligible. Understood? Okay. I told you observation. You tell me inference. Okay. But take time. No hurry at all. Okay. So what does it mean? 4,600-year-old skeletons from IBC site, Harappan site, had no steppe pastoralist DNA. So what does it mean? There was no contribution of Aryans in IBC. Okay. How can it prove, Ramu, how can it prove Aryans migrated to India? Because they are saying no Aryan DNA. I think you did not see this. No Aryan DNA, I am saying. So Ramu, are you sure of your answer? So if there is no DNA, how does it prove that? Okay. So not actually to say Aryan is not correct here. No steppe pastoralist DNA, isn't it? No. Okay, let me write it again. 4,600-year-old skeletons from a Harappan site had no steppe pastoralist DNA. So this is what is the statement. No steppe pastoralist migrated. At the time, no outer influence on population. Time is different. There is no Aryan invasion as such. Instead of saying there is no Aryan invasion, okay, it can also it can have multiple meanings, right? Maybe it can also mean Aryans are natives. One possible meaning. Let me note down the possible meanings. Let me note down the possible meanings of that. One possible meaning is Aryans, native, not migrated from steppe. Is it one possible meaning? Okay. So they are natives, because what is that saying? This is not like that, is what I corrected. Okay. So this is saying that the Rakhigarhi cemetery skeletons had no steppe logo ka DNA nahi tha bas. Okay. So maybe Aryans are not coming from steppe. Maybe Aryans are okay originated in India only. That can be one possible inference. So is that clear? So at that time, as such, the newspapers even published that. Okay, so in 2019, newspapers even published like this, that nobody migrated 4,500 years ago. Okay, Aryans are natives in India. One possible meaning I'm saying, Saurabh. What the answer you have given is correct. In fact, I've seen your answer. The answer you have given is correct. I'm writing possible meanings. Kya hai isme? What are the possible meanings? Second possible meaning. Okay, second possible meaning is, okay, migrated, okay, but after that date. That is also possible, right? Migrated, but migrated after that date. I think, Saurabh, this is what is the answer you have given. क्योंकि वो 4,600 years old था. And if Aryans migrated, they were claimed to have migrated. Yes, yes. I've seen many of you have given this answer. Okay, many of you have given this answer. I have seen that. No, need not be after the decline. During the time of decline also. 4,000-year-old female skeleton has no steppe pastoralist DNA. So maybe they have come 4,000 years back. Okay, during the decline. Understood? So that is another possible meaning. Or there is one more possible meaning. Just those 61 people, those 61 people, okay, did not mate with the steppe people. That's it. Okay. So there are multiple possibilities from this. ओके सो वो जो स्केलेटन्स बन गया आज उन्होंने मेट नहीं किया बस ओके मे बी अदर पीपल मे बी 4600 years back they were there okay and they were mating with other people just ये 61 people को छोड़ दिया बस is it clear that is also possible okay so actually it doesn't prove anything but the journalists were super excited at that time because the most favorite one that we want to believe okay like say for example like when like between the debate about whether we have god or not, some people say god is there, some people say atheists say there is no god, okay but another possible thought is okay people love to believe that there is, it is better even if you believe that there is no god, we feel like if god is there it would be better, isn't at least okay we can request him so much sata ke okay jo chahiye wo खींच sakte hain na god se, is it clear okay by breaking so many coconuts okay like by doing some aartis upvas kar lo kuch to kar lo okay we can at least some source of begging, at least some source of possibility, is it clear? So we love to believe, right? We love to believe that there is god. Actually that is the reason why so many babas are able to survive. Is it because we love to believe? Is it clear? Because we need that belief, is it clear? Okay so that is the reason why how many ever babas will do how many ever bad things, still a new baba comes, still another person comes in saffron or with such baba getup, okay we believe because we want to believe. Okay so not only Indians, not only religion survived because of that, okay not only Indians, worldwide religion, Christianity, Islam, Hinduism, religion concept survived because we need religion, it performs so many functions, is it clear? Okay so yes so that is how actually these are the multiple possibilities, isn't it? Okay Aryans are native so they did not migrate from steppe. Why? Because steppe people DNA is not there, so maybe Aryans are natives, this is one possibility. Second possibility, they migrated but after 4600 years, because anyhow that is the possibility only, that is anyhow that is the time period when they are claimed to have originated, so like that. Another one, okay that 61 people were not mating with Aryans. Okay and our favorite conclusion is this one, okay because like mainstream majority of people in India, I'll show you that demographic profile, I'll show you. I think it is not here, but somewhere it is there actually. Okay, so so based on that, we have to believe that first one has lesser possibility of okay being correct if you ask like that. Okay, but actually our favorite conclusion is this one. Okay, so like at that time, like the newspapers published that there is no Aryan invasion. Okay, so they published this, but these are the multiple possibilities because of that. And recently, like there are some books as such. Okay, like about these books, it is quite popular as interview questions. One is Nova Harari books, you know, Sapiens, Homo Deus, 21 Lessons for 21st Century. These are the three books written by Noah Harari. Yuval Noah Harari, you might have heard. Okay, so about those books. Plus, there is another popular writer, Tony Joseph. He wrote one book called as, okay, see, Tony Joseph wrote one book called Early Indians, the story of our ancestors and where we came from. Okay, so this is also one such famous book. About this also, in the interviews, there were questions 2-3 times. Once they asked like, okay, what is Tony Joseph's recent book? In one more, to one more candidate, the interview board asked that, who are early Indians in your opinion? Who are early Indians in your opinion? So like this, some questions were there in the interviews. Okay, so from these books. Okay, so those three books plus Tony Joseph's Early Indians, the story of our ancestors and where we came from. So these are popular general books. Okay, related to anthropology, not syllabus books, general books related to anthropology. So if you are an voracious reader, if you want to read some general novels or some books in general, then you can go for these books also. But like I have given the summary, okay, so you can go through that also if you are not okay a book lover. Okay. So now, in Tony Joseph book's book conclusion, what is the conclusion about who are early Indians? In that book, Tony Joseph said that it means West Asian migrants from Iran. Is it clear? These are not Aryans. These are not Aryans. West Asian migrants from Iran. Okay. Yes. Okay, so that is here, from here. Did you understand? Okay, so this is like the Pontic Caspian steppe. So this is the place from where Aryans were believed to have migrated. Now we are discussing about, in Tony Joseph's book, one more thing that we are discussing is about Iran, this place. Okay, West Asian migrants from Iran. Is it clear? So this sentence referring to Aryans? West Asian migrants from Iran, is this sentence referring to Aryans? No, 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 no. They are different people. Aryans were believed to have migrated from here. Okay, these are some other West Asian migrants from Iran. Okay, Aryans were believed to have migrated from Pontic Caspian steppe, Europe. Say, okay, these people from Iran. So they are different. Okay, understood? So if there is no clarity, you can say repeat. So once again, answer this question. West Asian migrants from Iran. Is this sentence referring to Aryans? Okay. So then which sentence refers to Aryans? So how the Aryans were described? Steppe pastoralists, okay, or from Europe or Pontic Caspian steppe. Okay, then so these other people, these are some West Asian migrants from Iran, mixed with first Indians, okay, formed the population that spread agriculture in the northwest India and built Harappan civilization. So this is not my conclusion. This is not the ultimate fact. This is what is the conclusion given by Tony Joseph in his popular book Early Indians, the story of our ancestors and where we came from. In that book, this is the conclusion he has given about who is responsible for Harappan civilization. So according to Tony Joseph, who is responsible for Harappan civilization? Okay, so first Indians plus people from Iran are together. They are responsible for Harappan civilization according to Tony Joseph. Clear? And steppe pastoralists who brought Indo-Aryan languages to India were not present in that region then. At that time, they were not there. This is okay based on these studies. Is it clear? At that time, they were not there. Okay, at the time when Harappan civilization was established, they were not there. This is only according to Tony Joseph. Okay, this is Tony Joseph's inference from this observation. You can come to any of the three observations that you like. Actually, that study can indicate all these three inferences. These are the three possible inferences from that. Okay, so it is up to you, like which inference you would like to believe. Okay, Tony Joseph's believed in this particular inference, isn't it? This is Tony Joseph's inference. Okay. So, fine. Is this statement clear for all of you? Is this statement clear for all of you? So West Asian migrants from Iran mixed with first Indians formed the population that spread agriculture in Northwest India and built the Harappan civilization. So let us assume you'll clear the prelims, let us assume you'll clear the mains also, and you like appear in the interview. So they asked you this question: who in your opinion are the early Indians? Then you can simply say that studies are going on, many active genetic studies are going on. Okay. In a famous book, Early Indians, Tony Joseph came to this conclusion, you can say. Okay. So this is what I studied, but the studies are still going on. Is it clear? Okay. Then now going back to this. Okay, so this one 4,600-year-old female genome derived from Harappan site and 61 skeletal samples from Rakhigarhi cemetery had no steppe pastoralist ancestry. From this we have written the three possible inferences. Okay, and note, Aryan migration from steppe was claimed to happen around 4,000 years ago, and the skeleton in Rakhigarhi is dated 4,600-year-old. So this is something that you have to note, just as a general note I have given. Okay, then conclusion. Study published in the journal Cell, co-authored by 28 scientists, including the co-authors of the study published in Science, such as Tangaraj, Reach, Narasimhan, and Rai, with Shinde being the lead author. The title of the study seemed straightforward. Okay, an ancient Harappan genome lacks ancestry from steppe pastoralist or Iranian farmers. This made some journalists jump to the conclusion that it meant that no Aryan migration either. Is it clear? This is all. I don't want you to remember so many names also, so don't worry. Okay, you don't have to remember the names of all these people. Tony Joseph ko yaad rakh do, Peter Underhill ko yaad rakh do. Enough. Okay, so can we move on? Okay. There was another study published later. So this is, we have seen three studies as of, this is last study. We have seen three studies. One is mitochondrial, that is saying 12,500 years there is no migration. Then Y chromosome DNA. Y chromosome DNA suggesting that around 4,000 years back, some people migrated from steppe and settled here and started dispersing. Okay. And the Rakhigarhi cemetery study suggested that, okay, 4,000 years back, there was no such DNA from steppe. Is it clear? Three studies over. Now fourth study, last study. Okay, so an international team of scientists analyzed genomes of 524 ancient Indians. Ancient Indians means fossils, and compared them with people who live there today, same place today. Did you understand? Is it clear? What was the comparison? 424 ancient Indians compared with the people who live there today. Okay. Then, out of 140 present-day South Asian populations analyzed in the study, that is 140 present-day South Asian populations compared with this 524 ancient fossil DNA, compared with this 140 present-day South Asian populations. A handful has remarkable similarity with steppe people. Most of them had, okay, a good number of them, a handful of them had remarkable similarity with steppe people. Understood? Okay, then, and all, this is another important point. All but one of these steppe enriched populations are. That means most of the populations who are having the similarity with steppe people, except one population, remaining all populations. It means, for example, if 140 populations similar to steppe people, okay, 139 populations are priestly communities. Okay, so all but one of these steppe enriched populations. Steppe enriched populations is populations that are enriched by steppe DNA. Okay, populations having a good amount of steppe DNA. Okay, they are priestly groups and Brahmins. So this study suggests that, okay, Aryans migrated, okay, because steppe DNA is matching. Plus also, okay, mostly higher castes in India belong to the steppe people DNA. Is it clear? So this is suggested by the fourth study. So these are recent genetic studies on, okay, recent genetic studies on Aryan migration. So Aryan migration debate is over. Okay, you can get two questions on this. One is Aryan migration debate. Second one is Risley's contributions to Aryan migration debate. Both are different. If they ask Risley's contribution to Aryan migration debate, don't write about all these genetic studies. Is it clear? Okay. So I repeat once again, if the question is Risley's contribution to Aryan migration debate, then don't write all these things. This is not done by Risley. So you should not try all this. Why I have given? Because one possible question is in general debates on Aryan migration debate or genetic studies on Aryan migration debate or interview questions. Okay, this is particularly like important 2-3 times they asked in the interviews. Okay, in your opinion, who are early Indians? So this was a question that was asked previously. Okay, so yes, if there are any more recent developments, you can mention. Is it clear? And this is all taken from the newspapers only, not from any anthropology textbooks. Fine. So we completed Risley's classification and Risley's contributions to the Aryan migration debate. And also we completed Aryan migration debate in and out. Now moving on to one more classification given by B.S. Guha. Remember one point, like, do you remember in somatotypes I told you whether Heath and Carter classify or Sheldon classify or Krishmer classify or Viola classify, whoever classifies, they are classifying humans only. Humans can have only 3 body shapes, endomorph, exomorph, meso. Only names can be different, isn't it? Same way here also. Whoever is classifying, they are classifying Indians only. Okay, so how can Guha bring some new Indians? He's classifying the same Indians Risley classified. So here only the names are different. Understood? So, how can we say that? They can give any heading. Okay. So, we are moving on to Guha's classification. This is lengthy. So, if they don't mention any one classification, no, you don't have to keep the headings of the newspaper articles in the exam. Okay, you can keep the headings according to the question they ask. Okay, now, see, actually Guha's classification is little lengthy. So if they don't mention in the exam, better write Risley's classification only. If they mention Guha's classification, then only go for this. Okay. Dr. B.S. Guha's racial classification is based on, again, anthropometric measurements only, which were collected during his investigation from 1930 to 1933. Guha traced 6 major racial strains and 9 subtypes among modern Indian population. Is it clear? 6 racial groups, 9 subgroups. 6 groups, 9 subgroups. Okay. Then, in this first one, Negrito. Okay, in this the first one is Negrito. These people are considered as the first comers and the true autochthones of India. According to Guha, Negrito people are the autochthones of India. According to Risley, Dravidians are the autochthones of India. Is it clear? Remember such points. When you concise, these points are important. जो red color में है वो skip मत करो. Is it clear? Okay, if you have to concise and leave some points, this is important. Okay, there are questions on Negrito also. There are debates about Negrito also. There are genetic studies about Negrito also, and this was a previous question. Okay, then Negrito means they are kind of having Negroid origin. I told you also these Great Andamanis, Jarava, Onji, Sentinelese. These are the examples of Negrito people. Done. So obviously when you keep them in your mind, then the features you can easily remember: short stature, dark complexion, frizzly hair with spirals, that is eulatrichous hair, you can use the word. Okay, brachycephalic head, that is a short head, flattened broad nose, that is platyrhino nose, thick and everted lips, isn't it? Okay, Negroids have thick and everted lips. Everted means like this, like folded outwards like that. Okay, example, Kadars, Irulas, Paniyans, etc. of South India, tribes living in Rajmahal Hills, tribes in Andaman Islands like Great Andamanis, Jaravas, Onjis, Sentinelese, etc. So these are, okay, the examples of Negrito. According to Guha, he believed that Negrito are the, okay, autochthones of India. Remember this point. Over. First group over. Done. Did Risley consider Negrito at all? No. See, there is a debate about Negrito. The pygmoid negrito problem in India. So this was a previous question also. So what is debate related to negrito? There are three arguments. I mean, scientists are divided into three groups and they fought debate discussed. First argument is no negrito element in India, isn't it? One example here, okay, Risley, isn't it? Risley did not believe that there is something called negrito element. He did not mention anything about it. This is one side of the argument. There are no negrito people at all. This is one side of the argument. Okay. Then second side of the argument is negrito element is present, but not okay natives, but not autochthones or natives. Is it clear? Okay, let us add the scientist names here later. Okay, let us see the third category. Third category is okay, negrito element is present and they are natives. Okay, here example BS Guha. Okay, so these are the three sides of the argument. Is it clear about what is negrito debate? Negrito debate is also known as the pygmoid negrito problem. Why this is called pygmoid negrito problem? Because the pygmoids in India are called negritos. Pygmoids in India are called as negritos. You know, pygmy people. Okay, look at here, all of you. Okay. One of the most complicated problems in Indian ethnology is controversy about presence of pygmoid. Okay, then about this also I would like to tell you one small point. Okay, actually original pygmies present only in Congo region. Yes, original pygmy are present only in Congo region. Okay, so pygmoid means what? Pygmy like. Did you understand? Pygmoid means pygmy like, right? With little variation, with little admixture. Mixing, for example, pygmy mixed with some other people. Okay, so not pure pygmies. They are present in okay Oceania and Asia. They are present in Oceania and Asia. So we don't have true pygmies in Asia. Is it clear? We don't have true pygmies in Asia. We have pygmoids. Pygmoids are not confined only to India, isn't it? They are confined to Oceania and Asia, widely distributed. Third point. The pygmoid people in India particularly are known as negrito. Did you understand? Pygmoid people are widely distributed, okay, in Oceania and Asia. Okay, then the pygmoid people who are living particularly in India are called as negrito. Is the relation clear? Pygmoid negrito problem. So it is about the presence of pygmoid, that is oceanic and Asiatic pygmies, negrito elements within Indian population, or negrito elements within Indian population. This is the debate about. So this is about who are negritos. Examples we have seen. This is about what is the debate. Is it clear? This slide is about who are negrito. Okay. So this slide is about what the debate is. Not around the world, Oceania, Asia. Okay. So pygmoid in India are called negrito. So your first and third points correct. Okay. Fine. So now let us go back. We have seen what is the debate. Okay. So Guha classified the Indian people into 6 groups and 9 subgroups. First one, Negrito. We have seen the Negrito features and examples, that is over. Second one, Proto. Short stature, dark complexion, ridges, supraorbital, southern India. Okay. Best examples are Orayons, Santals, Mundas of Chota Nagpur region, Chenchus, Kurumbas, Yeruvas, and Badagas of southern India, Dil Kol of central and western India. These are some examples. Don't worry, you don't have to write these many examples, and 2-3 examples will do, right? So mostly proto-australoid people, if you observe the features, okay, and the examples, you can see they are kind of more similar to Dravidian. In Risley's language, they are similar to Dravidian, right? Distributed in central and south India, central and south India. Okay, second oldest racial group. Short stature, dark complexion, platyrrhine nose, all these things. Okay, then next one, Mongoloid. Okay, this one, Northeast India, Mongoloid. Okay, this word matching in Risley and Guha's classification, right? Same word given by both of them. So this group can be divided into 2 subgroups like Paleo-Mongoloid, Tibeto-Mongoloid. Let me draw this. Mongoloid divided into Paleo-Mongoloid, okay, and Tibeto-Mongoloid. And Paleo-Mongoloid is divided into long-headed and short-headed. Okay. Second group is Tibeto-Mongoloid. Okay. So look at this chart, count and tell me how many subgroups are there here. All of you, please. This is aptitude test. This is aptitude test. 3. How 3? Long-headed Paleo-Mongoloid, short-headed Paleo-Mongoloid, right? And Tibeto-Mongoloid. This is not any anthropology question. This is aptitude question, isn't it? Okay. Paleo-Mongoloid are 2 types. So, okay, when you count the 2 types, why do you count Paleo-Mongoloid once again? Okay, long-headed Paleo-Mongoloid, short-headed Paleo-Mongoloid, Tibeto-Mongoloid. So these are the 3 subgroups, and count them because, like I told you, B.S. Guha classified the Indian people into 6 groups, 9 subgroups. So as of now, 3 subgroups came. So we have to count 6 more subgroups later. Is it clear? Is it clear? So this group can be divided into 2 subgroups, Paleo-Mongoloid, Tibeto-Mongoloid. The former one is further subdivided as long-headed and broad-headed. Okay, is it clear? Long-headed and broad-headed. But of course, broad and short, brachy means broad and short. Okay, but the correct word here is broad-headed. Okay, then now long-headed Paleo-Mongoloid description examples. Will you go through that? Can I focus only on conceptual things? Because anyhow, the terminology is clear for you all. By chance, if 1 or 2 words are not clear, okay, leave it, no problem. Anyhow, you cannot, okay. So anyhow, you cannot write this much content. If like 99% words, you know, I explained every word already. In the Unit 12 Forensic Anthropology itself, I have given the total terminology that we are going to get in future. Okay. So still 1 or 2 new words comes, ignore, no problem. Okay. So these are the description, broad-headed Paleo-Mongoloid, okay, description examples. Then after that, okay, 4th group, okay. As of now, how many groups we have seen? Negrito is 1 group, okay, Proto-Australoid, Mongoloid. In the Mongoloid subclassification we have seen. 4th one, Mediterranean, okay. So this group is divided into 3 distinct racial types. They are Paleo-Mediterranean, Mediterranean, Oriental. Is it clear? Mediterranean divided into. Paleo-Mediterranean, true Mediterranean, that is just Mediterranean. Third one, Oriental. These are the three subgroups. Okay. So here, Mediterranean, okay, let us see this. Long-headed with arched forehead, narrow nose, medium to tall stature, light skin color. Their chin is well developed, hair color is dark, eye color is brownish to dark. These people live in regions like Uttar Pradesh, Bombay, Bengal, Malabar, etc. The true types are Nambudiri Brahmins of Cochin, Brahmins of Allahabad, and Bengali Brahmins. It may be assumed that probably this type was responsible for Indus Valley civilization according to Guha. According to Guha, Mediterranean people are responsible for IBC. So this is important. Okay, then. So Mediterranean, in that three types, Paleo-Mediterranean, True Mediterranean, Oriental. Paleo-Mediterranean, like there is a brief description and examples. I did not read it out because it's a quite simple content. I hope you can go through this. This one I have read it out once because, okay, this is important. Okay, so you have to mention this. According to Guha, these people are responsible because IBC is such a great civilization in the world. There are many people fighting that we created that. We are responsible for it. So that is a debated point. Possibly in GS papers also. Okay, somewhere. Okay, so that is how. This is Guha's opinion about who is responsible for IBC. Okay, next. 4 groups over. Then now you may ask me one question. If they ask a question like ethnic elements in India, anyhow we don't write this much content, then why don't you give us some 250 words on ethnic elements in India? I should not. Reason is the questions are coming like this. Look at here. I'll show you some questions. See. Give a critical assessment of Negrito problem in India. Okay, did you notice? Then contribution of Herbert Hope Priestley to Aryan debate. Okay, see. Discuss relevance of Guha's classification in the context of India's ethnic groups. Can you write that? That's a straightforward question. So in that case, on entire Guha's classification, you just need 200 words. Next. Is Risley's classification of Indian population valid? Critically discuss with suitable examples. Okay. So is it valid means like we are discussing the validity means criticism only, right? Okay. So during the description, you will write the points. In the criticism, you will oppose it. So both the sides arguments came. So when you write what is given in the notes, every point in the question will be covered. See, in this you need only 200 words content on Risley's classification. In this you need only 200 words content on Guha's classification. But I should not give you the notes like that because look at this question. Mediterranean element in Indian population. If I give 200 words content on Guha's classification, what you will do with this question? Is it clear? So that is the reason why we should know, okay, but you can omit a lot of points. Okay. Then here, describe ethnic elements in Indian population focusing either on Risley or Guha's classification. Easy question. See, easy question because 2007. Now the questions are not so easy. Seventh question. Seventh question we have seen now. Malish. So, but now such questions are not coming. Now the questions became much more complicated. They're complicated in one way that they are being very specific. Okay, so either write this or write that. That is kind of giving the choice within the question, isn't it? No PYQs in the PDF. I did not include PYQs in the PDF. Okay, but I will do one thing. I can upload a PDF having all PYQs. Paper 1, paper 2, all PYQs PDF upload karungi. Okay. Chapter wise divided like this only. Okay. So this is how the questions are coming. Understood? And I agree that like you have to, is there any PYQ necessary for what, Rakesh? PYQ necessary, but necessary for what? For practice, it is important. Okay. I have given here like the same questions will be there, but in one A4 format, some 10-15 pages you will have to print out. So I have like all these PYQs divided chapter wise that I will give you. Okay. Why don't they come? They come. Why don't PYQs? There are many. So now criticism. Not with criticism. Like, who are you criticizing? Because like do whatever you are Mediterranean over. So Paleo Mediterranean, Mediterranean, Oriental, write about all the three. And you can draw map. Okay, in all these questions, India maps important. Okay, in paper 2, India map, very, very, very important. Linguistic elements, ethnic elements, okay, distribution of this one, that is Paleolithic sites, okay, Mesolithic sites, or okay, Neolithic sites, or tribal classification, linguistic classification of the tribes, okay. So, okay, so Mediterranean over. Then after that, Western brachycephals. This is again divided into 3 types. See, already we got 6 subtypes, isn't it, right? Mongoloid, we have 3 subtypes. Mediterranean, we have 3 subtypes. Okay. In the Western brachycephals, there are 3 subtypes. Okay, let us see what are they. Western brachycephals, alpinoid, dinaric, armenoid, among okay. So these are 3 more types. So you got 9 subtypes. Okay, Guha classified Indian people into 6 types, 9 subtypes. Okay, so Western brachycephals, alpinoid, dinaric, armenoid, you can go through the description and distribution. Last one, Nordics. Okay, these are the people characterized by long head, protruding occiput. Protruding occiput means occipital region. Nose is straight and high, bridged. Bridge is high like this. All are tall statured with strong jaw, robust body build. Eye color is blue to grey. The body is fair with reddish white. This element is scattered in different parts of North India, especially Punjab and Rajputana, place of Rajputs, present day Rajasthan. Is it clear? This is about Nordics. 6 types are there, 9 subtypes are there. Okay, and draw the classification like flow chart. Okay, and give description as much as you remember. Write 2-3 examples of each category. Is it clear? That is how you have to write. Then now criticism to Guha's classification. Let us see the Guha's classification criticism. Guha's classification also meets criticism at some point. Firstly, Guha's findings regarding Negrito elements have been opposed by almost all leading anthropologists, isn't it? Risley felt that there is no Negrito element at all. So, okay, some people felt that Negrito element is present, but they opposed that they are the autochthones. Okay. So, Guha's point about Negritos, almost all leading anthropologists opposed this. This is one criticism. Secondly, Guha tried to prove that all racial elements in India are of foreign origin. Do you remember? First comers, second comers. See, I'll show. For example, like, okay. This is first comers, he said, Negrito. First comers or autochthones, he said. Not sure. Then like second comers. So if all are comers who originated in India, that is the second criticism. Is it clear? He did not describe anybody to be doubtlessly, okay, originated in India. Negrito, he said autochthones, but there also he said first comers or autochthones. Okay. So Guha tried to prove that all racial elements in India are foreign origin. Keith strongly opposed this view because Keith believed in racial evolution that has taken place in India, and he took India as an evolutionary field of different races. This is like a breeding house of different races, according to Keith. Is it clear? Okay. So next one. Third criticism. Further, Guha had shown the people of India as Mongoloid. Do you remember in Mongoloid again, like long-headed Paleo-Mongoloid, broad-headed Paleo-Mongoloid, okay, Tibeto-Mongoloid, okay. According to him, Mongoloid people are in good numbers. He further classified that and he suggests wide distribution of those people, right? But according to some anthropologists, we don't have those many Mongoloid people in India. Further, Guha had shown that people of India is Mongoloid and brachycephalic. He proposed a sweeping distribution of brachycephals. Dr. Sarkar has strongly opposed the position of Guha. In his opinion, the brachycephalic population of India does not show a sweeping distribution as has been described by Guha. Western brachycephals and mongoloids, according to Guha, are widely distributed in India, and Sarkar is disagreeing with that opinion. Okay, there are only few people of such description, according to Sarkar. Is it clear? I repeat, mongoloid people and Western brachycephals, according to Guha, are very widely distributed in India. But according to other anthropologists, it is not like that. Okay, so that's it. With that, Guha's classification is over. So now we just have to discuss the Negrito debate on Negrito. Okay, is it being complicated? You want me to stop it here, or can I continue? Yes, for what? Just message continue or stop. Continue. Okay, understood. Majority continue. Okay, so fine. So with this, we will be completing ethnic elements. Okay, because they are towards Western region, Western India. Okay, and the head is broad and short. But there are no debates, right? Like say, for example, Mongoloid. Risley also considered Mongoloid element, and Guha also considered Mongoloid element. There are no debates. Okay, there are debates about two things. One is Aryan, the other one is Negrito. If there are debates, we will discuss. Otherwise, how do we create debate? Okay, so if there are debates, we will discuss. Okay, so if we complete this Pygmoid Negrito problem, then we'll be completing the ethnic elements in Indian population. Anyway, it will not take much time. Okay, look at this. Let us close this down. Okay, so this is one of the most, this we have done, right? Who are Pygmies, who are Negrito? I explained this. First paragraph is clear. Description is clear. We have done that already. Okay, very short stature. The term pygmoid is used when the stature of the males is around 1500 millimeter. It means if the male height is more than 1500 millimeter, we don't count them as Negrito. Is it clear? This is one important feature. Okay, they have a very short stature. If the male height is more than 1500 millimeter, we don't count them as pygmoid. So this is one important criteria. Okay, distribution. Pygmy population is found only in Congo. This I told you already. Pygmoids are found in the world like Malay Peninsula, Melanesia, Polynesia, Australia. This complete region is called Oceania, isn't it? New Guinea, India, etc. The problem arises when, okay, look at this point. Okay, see, let us suppose if any tribe is having, okay, some features matching, some features not matching, then the problem arises, isn't it? For example, if you find all these points of description, okay, then obviously we say, for example, if Anjis have all these points, we say Anjis are Negrito. If Kadars have all these points, we say Kadars are Negrito, no doubt. But the doubt comes if some points are matching, some points are not matching, isn't it? Okay, so that is what is the point given here. Problem arises when different tribes show only one or two characters of pygmoids. Right? In the Indian context, can I use the word pygmoid and Negrito as synonyms? Then these are examples. Okay. In India, Anjis of Andaman Island are definite pygmoid. The important tribes like Kadars of Coimbatore, Panyan of Vainadu, Kurumbas and Irulas of Nilgiri Hills are closely related to pygmoids. Done? Okay. So I told you who are Negritos. We have seen the description. Then here we have seen their distribution. Here we have seen their examples. Clear till now? Okay. Last we came to debate. Okay. About debate, like I told you the three arguments already. What are the three arguments? Already I told you. So, as we trace the history, let us see the details of. We just have to write some names here. That's it. Okay. We just have to fill these blanks so that our debate will be completed. Okay. As we trace the history of Negrito racial strain in India, we find that D. quatrefagus, okay, used the word Negrito for the first time. Who used the word Negrito for the first time? D. quatrefagus, okay, in the context of Indian population. Okay, also he assumed that Negrito as indigenous element in India. Is it clear? So let us add, okay, D. quatrefagus name here. Done? Okay. Person. Okay, not some sacrifice animal. Okay, right? So, dequatrifagus used the word negrito for the first time in Indian population. He assumed that negrito is indigenous. Okay, that's why I said that. So, negrito as indigenous element, okay, in India. Is it clear? So, same as Guha's opinion. Can we move on? Next. J.H. Hooton has also given attention to negrito problem of India. He has referred to the presence of woolly and frizzly hair among Angami Nagas of Manipur and Kachar Hills. He has suggested that negrito people may be responsible for. So just read these sentences and tell me, according to Hooton, do we have negrito element in India? Yes. And he also suggested that negrito people may be responsible for the introduction of cult-like disposal of the dead by exposure. Disposal of the dead by exposure means what? We usually, in India, we usually dispose the dead by either by cremation or we bury, isn't it? Okay. So disposal of the dead by exposure means leave it open so that animals may eat the flesh or maybe degraded because of the elements like wind, okay, heat and all. Okay. So that the skeleton will be exposed. Okay, and separation of the skull, that is head hunting. Okay, is it clear? So, such cults, according to Hooton, were introduced in India by Negrito people. Is it clear? Disposal of the dead by exposure, separation of the skull, head hunting, etc. Cults in India. Such cults are found in India and they were introduced by Negrito according to Hooton. So means according to Hooton, Negrito element is there in India. Also, he is explaining what they have done, right? So obviously they are there. Okay, but so let us fill that page. Hooton filled that. Okay. Is it clear? But he did not say that they are the natives of India. Did you notice? Is there any claim that they are the natives of India? Next. But the different authorities on Indian ethnography do not accept such hypothesis. According to Sarkar, the distribution of these types of cultural traits in India is limited. Okay, Sarkar is saying that such cults, okay, are not prominently distributed in India. That is negligible. So he is criticizing Hooton, who is saying that Negrito element is there. Kind of Sarkar is of the opinion that Negrito element is not there. So let us add Sarkar name here. Okay, then Majumdar is also of the opinion that exposure of the dead cult need not necessarily be Melanesian in origin. Melanesian in origin means what? Brought by Negrito. So Majumdar is saying maybe we can have such element, but that need not be brought by the people of Melanesian origin. Is it clear? Yes. So Majumdar is also of such opinion only. Okay. Then Guha has traced Negrito element among Kadars based on the presence of woolly or frizzly hair, but Sarkar opposed, stating that a single trait is not sufficient to categorize them as Negrito. Okay, Sarkar is opposing Guha also. So we kept Sarkar along with Risley. Okay, so debate over. So this is debate. Okay, so you can use this to revise the content whenever you have to revise it. Done. Majumdar idea is Majumdar felt that such a cult, okay, what cults, okay, that is disposal of the dead by exposure, head hunting, etc. Okay, exposure of the dead cult is present in India, but how can you say that? Okay, so that is necessarily brought by the people of Melanesian origin. How can you say that Negrito people brought it? Is it clear? सच वो cult तो है, but how can you say that that cult was brought to India by those people? Okay, is it clear? So with this, debate is over. Any doubts till this point? Any doubts till this point? Dr. Sarkar, yes, same person. He was opposing there, here also he is opposing. Okay. So in today's class, what we discussed is important. Many questions came, and it is also important in the context of interview or somewhere in the GS. In general, this is a very important topic in anthropology. Okay, so I tried to cover the points from all the angles, from all the sources. Okay, we are only left with this genetic studies on Negrito, but this is not as lengthy as Aryans. Only 2 small slides about it. That's it. Okay, but anyway, we will discuss about it in tomorrow's class. Okay, but again, genetic studies means don't think that like Aryans we have so many studies. This is 2 simple studies. Majumdar, write the answer like this. Don't write the answer like this. Write the way I have given. So that is what Majumdar said. We need not go into write the debate answer only in the way it is given in the notes. So to be on safe side, I'm removing that because multiple inferences are possible. So better write only what they said. Cult means some cultural practice, a cultural practice of headhunting, a cultural practice of disposing. So the class is completed. Those who don't have any doubts can leave the live. If you have any doubts, you can ask. For those who are leaving live, thank you so much for your active participation.